Good. We're good? Awesome. So, welcome everybody in Facebook land. I'm Jessica Lewis, and I'm here again at the Cancer Support Community as we are pretty much every other week. We sometimes don't have live people in the room, but today we do. So, if you see me looking, yep, here's Mark. If you see me looking this way, I'm facing a person, and just imagine I'm facing you. I'll be giving the same directions to her that I'd be giving to you. I may occasionally face other ways so you can see various directions. You know what? This week I'm tired, I will say, but I'm so jazzed because last week I was presenting at a medical conference that was co-hosted by OSHER Center for Integrative Medicine and Harvard Medical School on the merits of integrating Tai Chi into standard Western medical tracks. It was an amazing conference. And I'm still kind of mentally unpacking all that I saw and heard. Pretty much every great mind in the Tai Chi, Qigong, and medical world was there. And if I were to synthesize everything that I heard and saw into one simple line, it would be this. Apparently, what starts in the brain doesn't necessarily stay in the brain, and what starts in the body doesn't necessarily stay in the body. There's so much intelligence in human anatomy and so many connective communication paths. It's outrageous. So it's not just my experience I'm spouting to you today. I'm relaying to you information that came to me last week through nothing other than high quality evidence-based research from the top minds in this field, that you can turn on disease cells in the body and you can turn them off. And through practices like Tai Chi Cha, that's what we're going to be doing today, even if you don't turn the markers off, you can still have an incredibly high quality life, even in the darkest days of your life. So those are really the reasons why I've always taught here. It's just nice to know now I have research to back me up. That's been my experience over the last 20 years coaching people's health and wellness. But it's nice to know now I have research to back me up. So let's get down to business. The first thing I want to remind everybody is one of the coolest things about Tai Chi Cha. You know, there's lots of Tai Chi in the world. If you Google it, you probably get like 50 different choices just in this neighborhood alone, right? But this particular practice is called Tai Chi Cha. That third word is spelled C-H-I-H, and it's pronounced Cha, like chuck wagon, right? One of the coolest things about Tai Chi Cha is there's no such thing as bad Tai Chi Cha. In fact, it's all already good and it just keeps getting gooder. So do not even give it a second thought about whether or not you are doing it right. We also incorporate the effort of no effort at all, because there's no such thing as bad Tai Chi Cha, so why work at it, right? So even worrying about, am I doing it right? Too much work, no need, right? Another little variation that you may experience, Margaret, that you may not have seen in other Tai Chi styles you practiced is, we're going to flow from and then back to a period of motionlessness, which is more similar to Qigong than classical like Yang or Chen Tai Chi. But it's all one long flow. However, because we have those moments of motionlessness, you are absolutely at liberty to mix and match the moves, put them in an entirely different order. Whatever you like best is fine. Again, there's no such thing as bad Tai Chi Cha, and it's all good. So let's at first just feel out for ourselves physically, what does that position feel like? Okay, this is going to be our rest position, our gentle rest position, both before and after each one of the moves. I'm going to turn sideways so everybody can see me from a different angle. So my chiropractor would probably ding me if she saw me doing this, but frankly, this is the way I normally stand. My knees kind of are a little bit locked. They're sort of towards the back of my body, right? But when we're doing the rest position in Tai Chi Chuan, all we do is sort of let the tailbone kind of tuck under. You feel that? Yeah, it's almost like someone comes up behind you and sort of touches you on the butt and reminds your tailbone to tuck. And then when that happens, did you feel your knees kind of slide a little forward? Yes, that's it. Bingo. Why that's important is now the knees are just soft. They're not bent and they're not straight. They're soft. And when that occurs, did you feel the weight just sort of slide into the hole of each of your feet? Bingo. That's the most important thing right here. I want you to really feel your feet 100% in touch with whatever firm surface they happen to be touching. And in this case, for both of us, it's the insides of our shoes. All right. So let's just feel what's going on from the hips down right now. Take a moment to notice in your mind's eye what's happening. And then what to do with the hands. And remember, we're always incorporating the effort of no effort around here, right? So first, just let your arms hang down from your shoulders. It can't get much easier than that. And then just imagine someone came along and like lifted your fingers. So it's as if your palms are resting on, like an invisible firm countertop. Palms too, not just fingers. Yeah, palms. Yeah, you may feel a little tension in your forearms when you do this just because you're not accustomed to it. But over time, it will feel easier and easier and easier. So what we're doing basically is resting our palms on sort of an invisible pocket of energy. And another reason why this practice is so relevant to cancer patients is with very few modifications, it can be done from a chair. I've even worked with people that were partially paralyzed. So if we were sitting down and doing the rest pose, the hands would be on the legs. That helps us remember this is a nice horizontal surface. So let's just check in with the body right now. I'm going to face you again. And notice how this feels inside. In fact, go inside your body with your mind's eye. You can do this eyes open or closed. Don't close them if you feel unbalanced when you do that. And just pick a spot somewhere in your inner landscape to focus your attention on. Maybe even a spot you would never pay attention to, except that I'm asking you to, right? And we're going to do a little old-fashioned mindfulness. Tai Chi Chuan is often designated as a moving mindfulness practice, but we're going to do a little old-fashioned mindfulness right now. I'm going to call the bell, and until I call you back, you're just going to notice mentally some spot in there that you would normally never pay any attention to. So here we go. We're just noticing all the sensations associated with the little spot you've chosen. And of course, the mind will wander. That's what human minds do. Nothing in the world is wrong with that either. Just is. Go ahead and let your attention come back to the bigger room. So our little moments of motionlessness won't be quite that long in between moves. But you know what I always say, even if all I ever teach someone is an easy way to do some mindfulness, we're way ahead of the curve. But a lot of our most well-respected medical communities have called Tai Chi Chuan nothing other than mindfulness in motion. So, and you'd have to have your head under a rock for the last 20 years to not hear that mindfulness is good for you too. So we get double prizes around here. So let's just feel the body resting for a moment. This might be the only time in your waking life that you get some kind of an inkling what it feels like to be asleep. And I'm going to mirror you. So if I move like this leg, although it is my right leg, you might want to move your left, but there's no such thing as bad Tai Chi Chuh. So if you get it all cattywampus, who cares? Right? And we'll just do as many of the moves as we can. All right, so we're going to want to let this leg kind of flow out to the side. And in order to use the effort of no effort, we're just going to kind of drift away from it a little bit. And then we're just going to let it flow out there. Yes, good. And then turn the toes forward. Good. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what I'm about to explain to you a little better. Now we're just going to let the weight shift to the back of the feet. So all you got to do is lengthen the knees and put the hands back here. Good. And now we're going to let the weight drift to the front of the feet. Yeah. And drift back to the back. And you probably notice that my knees are lengthening at the ends of the weight shift. Do you see it? Oh yeah, go ahead and get that. That's the sweetest, quietest, most beautiful ringtone I've ever heard. I think I need that. Mine is much more jangly. Yeah. So we call this move rocking motion. It is true. If you do it for a while, you begin to feel like you're sitting in grandma's rocking chair or maybe a front porch glider, you know. You start to feel as if you're just doing this very gentle rocking of the body without having to use any effort. Yeah. And one way to get the arms going without any work is just sort of imagine they're like willow branches. You know, they just kind of blow in the breeze. And they're just following the weight shift. They get blown forward and blown back. Yeah. Nice. I always wondered why our originator, our progenitor, Justin Stone, put this move in the front of the practice. So some people think it's harder than the other moves. But after a while, it starts to get easy. I mean, we're not accustomed to letting our weight shift backwards without losing our balance. So how about we do 2 or 3 more? I'll face you again. Let's do 2 more. Good. All right, this last one, we're going to shift back the way we came. And we're just going to notice the body resting for a few moments. Just feel it resting. Taking a breath, because breathing's good. And we're going to do bird flaps and swings. So you're just going to put the hands close together. Almost like, you know, when we were kids, sometimes people told you to pray like this, you know, only down here with a little space between. Yeah, good. I'm going to turn sideways again so you can see what I'm about to say. And then now all we're going to do is let the weight kind of drop and shift forward again. Almost the same forward shift as the last move. And the hands are going to kind of get out of the way because the knees will naturally bend a little bit more. All right. So just copy me. Here we go. It's all going to be good. Here we go. Yeah. This is called bird flaps its wings. Yeah. Now this time, the 2 fingertips are going to draw a little circle in the air. See if you can copy me. Yeah. And then we come back. I always think it's funny, although this is called bird flaps its wings, these are like sparrow wings. It's mostly from the elbow down, teeny weeny wings. The little flip. Yeah. Here comes the circle again. My big Tai Chi Chuh joke is, this is the only time you get to flip someone the bird and it's not a rude gesture. I think everybody here has heard that one so much they think it's pretty old. Here's the circle. And then we're just going to float back down to rest. Just feel your body resting. Mostly, I want you to feel your feet. Make sure the weight is really in full contact with the floor. And we're going to do a bunch of moves where one foot is further out than the other. So here's how we're going to get that foot out there without working. All right, you ready? I'm not mirroring you actually now that I'm sideways. So let your tailbone tuck a little bit more. And see if you can let every single drop of your weight flow down into your right leg. And after that happens, your left leg should feel so empty. Just see if you can extend the left knee, and the heel will just drop down wherever it wants to be based on your height. Okay? And I'll tell you what, let's do bass drum. Put the hands up near your chest, about chest height, but about shoulder width apart, right? And just pretend you have like a high school marching band bass drum kind of strapped to your shoulders. So we're going to let all the weight flow from the back leg into the front leg, and the fingers are going to trail around the outside edge of the drum. Yeah, exactly. And the hands are facing each other because there's a drum between them. Exactly. Yeah, you got it. And we're still basically rocking forward and back in that really gentle way. Only now we just have one foot out there. So it's a farther distance to go. Yeah, I'm going to face you, so I'm going to mirror you again. Good. Yes. She's getting it. She's doing good. I know this is doing a bad Tai Chi job, but she's doing good Tai Chi job. Let's do two more. Last one. Now to end it, it's so easy. You just wait till all your weight's in the back again, and then just stand up on it. And feel your body resting for a moment. Now we're going to do the other side. So let all your weight drop into your left leg. We're going to let tailbone tuck a little more, and then we're shifting. And here, yes, she's got it. Here we are on the other side. Hands do exactly the same thing, no matter which foot is sticking out in this one. Oops. Ooh, did you lose your balance? Yeah. You might be working too hard.
It's the bad side.
No need. Yeah. Here, I'll turn sideways so you can see it again. Nice. We're just letting the rear leg drain into the front leg, and the front leg drain into the back leg. I'm taller than you, so you don't need to worry about getting your feet as far apart as mine, because you probably can't. Make sure it's really a comfortable space for you. Nice. Let's do two more. We usually do everything in 3 sets of 3, but I don't always count right. Here's our last one. And rest. Very nice. Let's do a couple more moves where the hands do the same thing on both sides. Okay, let your tailbone tuck. Let all your weight shift into your right leg again. We're going to let the left leg extend. Yeah, and just turn the palms over. This one's called Daughter on the Mountaintop. So here we go. As we glide forward, the hands come up like they were going to clap, but then they miss each other. Yeah. And we're still using those tiny little bird wings. You know, like almost all of the movement is happening from the elbow down. Yes. She's doing great, Tai Chi. And another thing I'm noticing, Margaret, that you're doing wonderfully well is you're not leaning. Can you see how my upper body just kind of travels forward and back like a column? Do you see that? You're doing that too. A lot of people in their efforts to do good Tai Chi Cha, they lean. And it throws off the balance. Let's do two more. Nice. And all the weight's in the back leg. We're just going to float up and float down. Nice. Just feel your body resting. And let's do the other side. Let all the weight kind of flow into your left leg this time. And just extend. Exactly. Palms turn over. Yeah. Here come the hands. Yeah. And then they fall. Yeah. Nice. So I bet in your other experience with Tai Chi, do you remember them talking about the expansion contraction of the Dantian? Do you remember that? It might have been too esoteric for the classes that you had. Yeah. So I'll explain that a little bit more in a moment. Let's just feel the body flowing. Let's do two more. Last one. Nice. And let's rest. Feel the body at rest. Nice. Nice rest position. That looks good. All right. So what I was speaking about a moment ago, it may sound a little esoteric, but if you wrap your head around how young Western, especially American medicine is, it'll make more sense. So every ancient culture and medicinal and spiritual practice all agree that we have a ball of energy pretty much in the middle of the body that's way smarter than our brain and way stronger and braver than our heart, sort of like an energetic heart. And in many cultures and languages, the word is almost the same. It's one reason why I think it must be true. If all ancient people agree on it, how could it be wrong, right? Anyway, in Chinese, we call it the Dantian. I can spell it for you later. It's not spelled the way you think. And it kind of, our pelvis is like a bowl. So it kind of sits in the bowl. It's not really a spot. It's more like a big ball of energy. We always talk about our gut feeling and we talk ourselves out of it, right? We outthink it with our brain, which isn't as smart as it anyway, right? The other thing is Western medicine in some ways is starting to catch up with this because in the last 10 years especially, we started realizing if your gut health is bad, then the rest of your body's health is going to be rotten, right? So we're getting the drift. Don't do what I'm about to say, just watch. So I'm going to do the movement that we already did, bass drum. And what happens when you flow forward back is the dantian is actually expanding, contracting, and flowing forward back, and the whole rest of the body's coming along for the ride. So just watch, especially what's going on in here with me. As I flow forward, it expands. As I flow back, it contracts. Right, and the rear leg expands at the same rate, and the hands move out at the same rate. Right, and then the rear leg contracts and the hands come back at the same rate that the dantian comes back and contracts, right? So that's what's happening in all the moves. The dantian is actually like the band leader or the parade leader. It's kind of like marching along and everybody else is just following along behind. So let's do another movement really related to the one we just did and see if you feel that expansion contraction in your, between your belly button and your groin.
Okay.
About halfway between there and about halfway between there and there, right? All right, so here we are resting. Dantian is sort of neutral when we're doing this because the pelvis is sort of tipped up, right? Let's let the left foot get out there first. So we're going to let the tailbone tuck and let all the weight drop down into the right. And just extend your left leg. And we're going to bring the hands up here. Yeah, so same place that they were for bass drum, only facing out, right? And as you flow forward, the hands come together and then they rise. And as you flow back, they go right back down to the bottom. And see if you feel the dantian expanding and contracting. If you let your upper body really be almost like a column flowing forward and back, you might feel your groin kind of tipping down as you move forward and your whole upper body gets a little longer. Do you feel that? Yeah, she feels it. I also feel more of a curvature in my low back when I flow forward. Yes. She's doing great, Tai Chi. I really hope you come back because you're doing great. Let's do two more. Last one. Nice. And we're going to rest. And we're going to do the other side. Here come the hands. Yeah. It's almost like you're scooping up something yummy and bringing it up to your lips. Nice. So I said all that basically in an effort to help you know how you don't have to do a lot of work in this practice. The hands will even just sort of get out of the way of the dantian. Nice. And they're almost always flowing in some sort of circle because we know from physics it's easier for things to move in a circle than a straight line. Nice. Let's do one more. Nice. And just rest. Ah. Wonderful. Wonderful. So we have a few more forward backward moves in here, but we do have one side to side move sort of sandwiched among them. Let's do that one. We can always come back to the forward backs. And the principles of movement are exactly the same. It's just instead of doing this way, we're going to go this way. All right, so here we are resting. And I'm mirroring you again. So we're still going to let the tailbone tuck a little. My earbud is falling out. Let me just shut it back in. Hope I didn't turn it off. Let the tailbone tuck, and we're going to let all the weight shift over to your right. Now here's the only difference we're going to do is we're going to actually let the whole upper body kind of turn a little bit to the right as well. Yeah, but the head stays forward. This is how we're going to really improve your balance. And so we're going to lift up the hand that's attached to the shoulder that's in the back. You did just right. And we're going to cover it with the right hand. Good. And now the empty leg, instead of going forward, goes out to the side. So it just goes, yeah, heel first. That way you won't overreach. Okay. And we're just going to flow that direction now. It's going to pull the hands. And when we flow back, they're going to come back. Yeah. Yeah, so here are the hands still moving in a circle. Take your time. Let's just do 9 whole rotations this way. I think we had a better sense of how this feels if we don't do a lot of stepping. Yeah. So there's a weight shift and then a little waist turn at the end. That's the only difference. You feel one leg emptying and the other filling though, right? Yeah, same thing. A little Tai Chi ball between your hands. That probably seems familiar. All right, here's the last one. So as this leg fills up, just stand up on it. Yes. And that's how we land. Let's go back again. All right, so let your tailbone tuck. Let all your weight drift over here. And then let your upper body turn a little bit. Eyes forward though. And the hands go up. And the empty heel goes out to the side. Yeah, and here we go. Yes. Nice. Wonderful. I could give you a whole long lesson on what's going on with the dantian and these moves, but I don't think you need it. Just experience it. Let's do one more like this. And let yourself float up and flow down. That's fabulous. Feel your body resting for a moment. This feels like a perfect time to show you another move that's actually rather late in the practice, but it's just like the one we just did, only the hands move independently. Did you ever see The Karate Kid? Yeah, yeah. We're going to do wax on, wax off. That's exactly what we're going to do. We were doing wax on and off together a minute ago, and now we're going to do wax on, wax off. Okay. All right. So feel your body resting. I'll show it to you one hand at a time, and then we'll blend the two hands together. Okay. All right. Let your tailbone tuck, and let all your weight shift over to your left. And then we're going to let the upper body rotate to the left. Yeah. And then just put your left hand up. Yeah, like we're high-fiving the wall. Eyes forward, though, that's important. We'll just leave this guy here until it has another job to do. And let your empty heel move out to the side. Yeah, yes. And as we flow into what was the empty leg, the hand just gets swept along. Yeah, exactly. The hand is always flowing towards the leg that's filling up. Yes. Let's do one more like this. Now we're gonna give this hand a little rest. So when it gets down here, just let it go. Now we're gonna go over here. Raise up your other hand, yeah. And we're going back the other way. Let it pull the hand along. Yeah. Keep your feet glued to the ground though. You'll have an easier time of shifting here. You might feel them emptying, but keep them anchored down. Nice. Let's do one more rotation with this hand. Good. All right, we're going to let this one rest, but we're going to go back towards the left. This is the way we generally start the move. So if your arms get confused, by the way, as long as you stay very relaxed, you'll still have a good time, and it'll probably work itself out anyway, right? So just stay cool. Here we go. Follow me, just follow me. Now here comes this hand. Yes, exactly. See if you can stay right with me. Does this look familiar? Every Tai Chi style in the world has some version of this move. It always has the word cloud in it.
Yes.
Yes. Wave hands like cloud, cloud hands, something like that, yeah. We call it passing cloud. I think this move is such a great way to think about the way we ought to go through life. It's like our head stays forward, so we're like the sky here, and the clouds just come and go, and we don't get distracted by them. They're like the thoughts. Easy said, hard to do, but it is the goal. You're doing great, Margaret. Let's do one more set here. And as we flow back the way we came, we're just going to rise up. Yes, and we're just going to rest. Take a breath. Tell yourself what a good job you did, because you did. That was great. Let's do work in the pulley. I like to think of it as sort of a combination of passing clouds and the forward backward moves. And it's like right in the middle of the practice. You can see I'm jumping all over the place. Maybe next time you come, I'll start at the beginning and run all the way through the end. Okay. So feel your body resting. You might want to step back ever so slightly because we might touch hands here. All right. So here we go. We're going to let the tailbone tuck a little bit, and we're going to let all the weight flow into your right leg. So the left leg's going to go forward. Yes, good. And the left hand goes up. And the right hand turns over. Good. So you probably already figured out, just like the other forward backward moves, when we flow forward, this hand is going to go forward. But we're going to let the upper body turn a little bit, and that will create a whole bunch of magical stuff with this rear arm. Okay, so just copy me. Let this hand come towards my hand, though. That'll be a good helper for you. You ready? Here we go. Yes. And then let the body turn as you flow back. Yes. It's sort of like swimming. Let's start again. We're going to do one hand at a time. It's like swimming, only there's no drowning to worry about. So it's way easier than swimming. And rather than slicing through, we're just letting the hand flow, right? Let your tailbone tuck. Let all your weight shift to your right. We're going to let the left leg extend. So let's put this hand up. Yeah. So as we flow forward, let that hand come towards my hand, but turn your upper body away a little bit. And then it's just going to drop down. And as you flow back, let your belly button follow the elbow. Yes, exactly. So if you feel your front toe want to pivot out a little bit, that's okay. You don't have to make it pivot, but it will probably naturally do that. Yes, exactly. Good. You feel how this elbow gets behind your body without you having to do much? Yeah, that's the magic sauce right there. Let's do one more with this hand. Good. Let's rest. Good. Let's do the other side. So we're going to sink down and shift over. There you go. Let this hand come up. We can just let this one hang. Good. Let that hand come towards my hand. Here we go. But let your belly button kind of turn away. Did you ever see that movie Monsters, Inc.? With the little monster Mike, we have one, he was just a ball with one eye in the middle. Do you remember that? Yeah. So pretend your belly button is that little monster Mike with one eye. And let it follow this elbow. Oh, it's turning behind me. So yes, exactly. When we put the two hands together, you'll see why I said that, because the belly button always follows the elbow that's moving behind. Yes. Oh, you're doing great. Let's do one more. Good. Let's flow back to rest. I think his name was Mike Ondowski or something like that. It's such a typical plain name. All right, so we're going to start again. We're going to put your left foot out. So the left hand goes up, the other hand does this. All right. Remember Mike's eye, here it is. It's going to follow the elbow that's going behind you. Okay. If you get confused, again, if you just stay cool, you'll still have a good time. And that's the most important thing, right? So here we go. Exactly. Exactly. By George. The raid in Spain. She's doing great. It's kind of like, yeah, that's okay. Yes, good. It's kind of like passing clouds, only we're going forward back instead of side to side. That's what I always say. Good. And you know what? We always say, as long as you're flowing as softly and smoothly and effortlessly as you can, you're still going to be improving your health. We have a lot of evidence that suggests that's the truth. Tai Chi is highly researched. Nice. Let's do one more. And as we flow back towards the middle, we're just going to rest. Taking a breath, because breathing's good. Let's do the other side. You might find that one side of your body more naturally works in this one. And as time goes by, they'll even out. I forgot to put my clock up there, so I'm going to have to pay attention to my watch. Sorry, guys. I'm not dissing you. I'm just paying attention to my timing here. So let's let the tailbone tuck, and we're going to let all the weight flow down into your left leg this time. Exactly. This hand turns over, right? Let the eyeball follow the elbow. Okay, so here we go. Yes, exactly. So here's another trick you might want to remember, or not. Whichever leg you're flowing into, that's the hand that's going forward. Does that make sense? Yes. Exactly. And just let whichever hand you've got coming forward meet the hand that I've got coming forward or come towards it. Yes. Nice. I think this is your side that gets it a little more. There you go. It's hard for me to tell which hand is dominant in this move or even which leg because they both are important and they switch jobs anyway. Let's do two more. Last one. Good. And as we get back to the middle, we're just gonna, yeah, just feel your body resting. Ah, nice. So nice. So we've done forward back moves, side to side moves, moves that are forward back and side to side. Let's do another couple side to side moves, and then we'll end with forward back moves. Because a lot of people feel like the forward back moves are the ones that are the easiest, right? So we already know how to get from side to side. Let's just go, you can even let your hands hang if you want. Let's just go over how to get all of your weight over on your right side. So just let your tailbone tuck, let all your weight shift over here, but then we're going to let the whole upper body kind of rotate a little bit that way too. Yeah. Now I want you to notice that your left shoulder just came out in front. Good. So you're just going to put your arm right here. Same place it was for working the pulley, only it's across your belly now. Yeah. Now let your empty heel go out to the side. And this is pulling taffy, but we're doing it one hand at a time. As we flow that way, you can let your toe face that way. Yeah. Here comes the hand. And then when you get all your weight over here, we're just going to stand up on it and rest. Yeah, step up on it and rest. Exactly. Let's go back the other way. So we're just going to sink and shift. We're going to rotate. Whichever shoulder comes out in front, that's the hand that does this. Yes. So now it's your right arm. And here we go. We're going to flow to the right. And the arm comes along for the ride. Yeah. Let's do one more with one hand. And then we'll add the second hand. So here we go. We're sinking and shifting. Exactly. She's catching on fast. Good. That's the best way. Just follow me. I have a very robust YouTube channel. A lot of people swore, especially during the pandemic, that they learned Tai Chi just by doing it with me on YouTube. I have a couple of videos that are silent, and people say it's easier because you talk too much. I admit, I'm an over talker. All right, let's add the second hand. And again, if you get confused, as long as you stay soft, smooth, and relaxed, you're still going to have a good time and improve your health. All right. So here we go. We're going to let that underarm orient itself first. Right now it's your left. And then the other arm just slides up on top. Yeah, it's like you're making a sandwich out of your forearms. And let your empty heel glide out. And the hands are going to get pulled apart as you shift. Exactly. We call this pulling taffy. I love the French translation of this movement. They call it caramel. But it's sticky and gooey energy that you're pulling between your hands, right? All right, so let's go back the other way. Tai Chi Chih has been taught in many, many languages. Nice. You're doing great. That's beautiful. Let's do another set like that. Tai Chi Chih is actually the only Tai Chi practice that originated in the Western Hemisphere and has been moving east ever since. All the others came out of the East. It's interesting, huh? Yeah, here we go. Very nice. Let's do one more set because we usually do 3 sets of this. And you're doing so well. I'm like, why not? Yeah. And one more. And this will get us right back where we started. Nice. And rest. Nice. Just feel your body resting. We have time. There's in the full practice, we do pulling taffy, the one we just did, and then we do 3 more variations. But I think in the interest of time today, what I'll do is I'll show you the third most complex variation. I'll show it to you one-handed. I know you'll be able to do that. And maybe even you'll do well with the 2 hand together. And then after that, let's just go back to the forward back stuff. Okay. So here's what it, don't watch. I mean, don't do, just watch. Here's what it looks like when you're doing the full Monty of pulling taffy variation number 3. We call it perpetual motion taffy. It's exactly the same as what you just did, only we don't stop. It's perpetual, right? I'll do one more like this. And here's what it would look like if we did it one-handed. It's so easy. I'll do one more set. Nice. So let's do the one-handed one, and we'll end it, and then I'll throw in the second arm, and if you want to keep doing it one-handed, that's fine. Or if you want to do the second arm too, that's fine too. Or if you want to just watch, that's fine too. I've actually worked with a couple of people over the years who were so injured or partially paralyzed, and all they could do was visualize themselves doing the moves, and they still had health benefits. But we know from Olympic athletes, visualization is incredibly important. So here we go. We're going to set up the move on this side. And here goes your left arm first. And we're going to flow so far into your left leg that the right heel is just going to levitate for a moment. And then we're just going to put it right back down. This is the one time where you're moving side to side and the feet don't stay glued to the ground. They actually leave the ground. Yeah. Let this heel actually just leave and then just let it go right back down again. We're using what I like to call helium balloon body. Let your trailing leg just levitate for a moment. Like it's a half empty helium balloon. Can't quite decide if it wants to sink or float. Nice. All right. Let's end it over here. Let's just take a moment to feel the body at rest. I'm going to throw the second arm in there, but if you get confused, just go back to, whichever shoulder's out in front, that's the arm that goes here. Good. You know what, let's, for a moment, just put your feet a little wider apart. Good. Just turn from side to side. It's the same thing. So when we were children and we did this when we were bored at church or something, we were doing Qigong and we just didn't know it. This is Qigong, right? Okay. And Tai Chi Cha is actually probably a little closer to Qigong than martial Tai Chi. They all have lots of things in common. They're all kissing cousins, but just there's that. All right, so here we go. We're going to sort of load it up over here. And the other arm sneaks up on top. The empty leg, yeah. And in the middle, the hands just switch. So by the time you get all the way over to the other side, they're already reversed. They just switch. And if you get confused which arm goes where, just notice which arm is out in front, which shoulder's out in front. That will always be the underhand. Yes. Nice. And keep your eyes forward though. That'll improve your balance really fast. And it'll be easier for you to watch me. And not let your head get too far into your head. Which is an easy thing to do when you're learning something new and complex. Yeah. I'll tell you what, we'll end it by moving back the way we came. And here we are calling it a day. Nice. Let's do push-pull. We're going to start with your left leg out. Okay, here you go. And the hands are going to come up here. It's kind of like working the pulley, only both hands are up. So as we flow forward, your hands are going to come towards mine, but there's going to be like a little bit of a dip. And then as we turn around and come back, they just turn around and come back. So here, I'll show you from the side. It's going to look like the hands are traveling sort of in an ellipse. Okay, so I'll do a couple like this, and then I'll turn around and face you. So here we go. Nice. Because in all the Tai Chi Chuan moves, the hands are always moving in either an outright circular motion or in a circular motion. Because things move better that way. Or easier, let's put it that way. They move easier. Bodies in motion tend to stay in motion. Right. Nice. One more. Just feeling the body at rest. Now I'll mirror you and we'll let our hands flow towards each other, okay? So we're going to let the right leg stick out there now. Nice. Let your hands come towards mine. It's like we're going to play slow, easy patty cake, right? Here they come. And then bring my energy back to you. Yeah. This is a really powerful way to exchange really high quality energy with somebody else. Nice. On other styles of Tai Chi, this is called push hands, and it's considered highly offensive or at least defensive measure. There's no martial application here. We're just doing mindfulness while in motion. That's all we're doing. Yeah. One more. Nice. Let's flow right back down to rest. Now, you know, I'm just going to count all the moves we did today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We did 11 of the 20. Let's do 12. Let's do the very last one. It's not really a movement, it's more like a pose. And we always end our practices with cosmic consciousness pose. I don't mirror this one because it's the only thing that we do just on one side of the body and not on the other. So I'm going to explain it to you. I'm actually going to face away from you. So here we are, just simply feeling our bodies at rest. And for this pose, if your heels aren't already touching, it might feel better if they are. It might feel easier if they are. So without shifting your weight, if you can, just lift up your left heel and rotate a little bit and drop it down on your right ankle. Yes, that's it. So that's most of it right there. And then you're just going to let your arms float up till your forearms are about the height of your shoulders. And I know you're probably thinking, this feels like a little effort. Helium balloon body, just let them float, you know, like the limbs of a tree. It's not hard for a tree to get his arms up there, right? The fingers overlap, and the left set of fingers is going to be closer to your body than the right. And we're just going to hang out here for a couple of moments. It's just a different way of resting. This is very similar to the Qigong pose, standing like a tree. And then we're going to flow back down to our original rest position. So now's a good time to just tap back into the body. Maybe even check out the same spot you looked at before we started, with your mind's eye, of course. And you can do this eyes open or closed. Do not close your eyes if it's going to cause you to lose your balance. No one's ever gotten hurt in my class, and I want that record to remain intact. All right, so I want you to really feel your feet 100% in touch with the floor. And pick a spot somewhere in your inner landscape to focus your attention on while we call the bell one last time. Here we go. And go ahead and bring your attention back to a larger space. And of course, open your eyes if they have been closed. Did you notice any changes in your mental or physical state from when we began till?
Starting out with some pain in my hip, and that's lessened.
I don't know if you heard that. She said starting out there was some discomfort in her hip, and that feels like it has lessened. And you certainly moved during the class, and you used that hip. So that if that's not perfect proof that moving in this way can actually alleviate pain to a degree for a lot of people, I don't know what is. I hurt my shoulder really badly a couple of years ago. I don't know how I managed to avoid surgery, but I did. And theoretically, I should never have been able to do this move during that period of injury. It took about a year to resolve. But not only could I continue to do that move, it actually alleviated my pain. Sounds like woo-woo, but it ain't. It's science. So that seems like a good time to end. Again, I am Jessica Lewis, and I am your grateful teacher of Tai Chi Chih here at the Cancer Support Community. A couple times a month. If you want to find me, just Google me. Spell it any way you want. Jessica Lewis, Sculpt Your Life. And I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye.